Shalom. This is part two. They ended my video abruptly. But Jeremiah 16 and 19. It says, O Lord, my strength and my fortress and my refuge in the day of affliction, the Gentiles shall come upon unto thee from the ends of the earth, and shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit. And a lot of these Edomites, they realized that. They inherited lies. Their parents lied to them. Their grandparents lied. And history, when revealed, will show them to be treacherous, show them to be who they are. All right. And the Lord has mingled a perverse spirit in Egypt. You know, they're no longer in that form that they were once in. All these Edomites are on pills and you know, for them to even trust Fauci, you know, years ago, people would have, the snake oil salesmen, they hung them. They used to chase them out of town. Well, now they can jump on television and, you know, tell you anything, and then people just run with it. All right, they've inherited lies. Damn. And then they look at this, the center and the root cause of it, Amalek. One's trying to hide. No, the fugitive, the vagabond. It's you. You being revealed. All right. 1 Timothy 6 and 20. See, the scriptures warns us about people just telling you anything. O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babblings. All right, so we don't have time for certain shit. Nigga tell, I eat catfish and I smoke cigarettes and I still love to, you know. Look, we're not finna sit here and argue with you. Go do what you do. And oppositions of science, falsely so called. Meaning what? People are gonna try to, well, this information says that. Look, we're gonna follow what the scriptures say. We're gonna follow the spirit of the Lord. All right, you have false science. A lot of that stuff, prehistory and the you know, the stuff that they show at the museum. A lot of that is things that those skeletons are things that they put together artificially. All right, some of that stuff, you know, you have some big sea creatures though. You have some giant creatures in hidden places. But and that history has been hidden a lot too. A lot of history has been hidden. That's what you find when you do your research. There's been a lot of history that's been hidden. All right, especially with Jake, you know, they go out there. All these nations, they go out their way to hide our history. All right, but yeah, oppositions of science, falsely so called. Let's look up that word for science. Gnosis, knowledge, signifies in general intelligence, understanding. You know, because the scriptures gives understanding. Scriptures, you know, is perfect, but it doesn't give you, you know, every single detail about every single thing. So certain things you have to research for yourself. You know, and here comes Esau. Oh, I'm going to tell you about everything. It's so much stuff. You know, you get into alternative energy sources. You got all kind of, Jake then made all kind of stuff that run off of free energy and. But no, it's not about that. It's about power control. All right, it's not about that. Like I was at a, let me get to the scriptures too. I was at at Walgreens, and you know, you walk in, there's the cosmetic section right there. Jake just right there with a backpack, no mask on, just dropping shit in the bag, just stealing. And I looked around the store, manager ain't doing shit. Everybody, the workers just working like it's just another day. Like this is all this whole chaos and anarchy thing, this is through them. Right? And then, of course, they want to come with the order. They want to come down like the flood, the troops. All right, this is Proverbs 22:7. The rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. Excuse me. See, that's what they want. They want you perpetually borrowing them to them. All right, you put your money in their bank, and bring your money in, bring that little check. We're not gonna let you get into certain positions. We're gonna block you from getting in certain positions. And then when we finally do, go ahead, throw your money in our bank. Matter of fact, we're not even giving out checks where you could just cash it. Matter of fact, you're gonna need direct deposit. It's gonna come straight into our hands. And then, you have fractional reserve banking. They can use your money and then lend out a certain amount of your money, and they don't have to actually have the physical money in their bank anymore. This ain't the old days where they got a vault and then they actually got, no, everything now is digital. Matter of fact, go to Investopedia. It says on March 26, 2020, the Federal Reserve, which is not part of the federal government, by the way. It's just, it's owned by private forces. Wonder who. It says the Federal Reserve reduced reserve requirements for all depository institutions to zero. Instead, banks are now paid a specific interest rate on their reserve balance to encourage holding reserves. And what they can do is, let me go to a good example. This is how they've gotten rich. This is one of the ways. And fractional reserve banking process. The fractional reserve banking process creates money that is inserted into the economy. When you deposit that $2,000, your bank might lend 90% of it to other customers, along with 90% from 5 other customers' accounts. This creates enough capital to finance $9,000 in loans. Your balance still reflects $2,000, and the customers that the bank borrowed from also see their balances remain unchanged. If all 5 customers have account balances of $2,000, it would look something like this. You and 4 of the customers have $2,000 each deposited in savings accounts that pay 1% per year. And see, it's usury. When they charge, it's usury. But according to the scriptures, Deuteronomy 23:20, unto a stranger thou mayest lend upon usury, but unto thy brother thou shalt not lend upon usury, that the Lord thy power may bless thee in all that thou settest thine hand into in the land whither thou goest to possess it. So not only do you have a false balance where they could just loan paper out, they can loan basically thin air and numbers on a digital space to somebody else. But then when you go in for a loan, you might need a little more. They're going to charge you whatever for the APR. They're going to charge you, 10%, whatever the rate is, right, depending on your score and your relationship with the bank, which we already know. These Amalekites have a great relation. These small halves have a great relationship with the bank. All right, then they'll tell you, shit, give us $1,000 for 12 months on a CD, and you can make 5%. Like that ain't shit. That's what? Let me see. 10% of 1,000. That's 100. 5% would be 50. So you made $50 in a year off your $1,000. And then meanwhile, you can't touch it, and they can use that to loan to this person, that person, this person. Like, this shit crazy. Right? You can't create a bank unless you go through them. They got to have access to your books, your records. See, Jake don't know, man. Jake don't research This is why they kept us out of these fields. They kept us out of commercial real estate, you know, owning certain things in certain sections. Like, hell no. This is our kingdom. This is our infrastructure. We about to fuck over our own people. You definitely ain't about to be in the play at all. You know, it's all by design. All right? Order out of chaos. This place is all by design. You know, you seeing the same thing, like I said, the dude stealing. You seeing the same shit over there in the West Coast and the East Coast. Lawlessness. Right? Police not responding to certain shit after certain times. Right? If he that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? It says if the bank can use 90% of his deposits for loans, the available capital is $9,000. 90% of $10,000. A sixth customer asks for a loan of $1,000. The bank borrows 10% from each of the 5 accounts, totaling $1,000. There is still a balance of $2,000 in each account, $10,000 total between the 5 accounts. The bank essentially created $1,000 and lent it to the borrower at 5% per year. You receive interest payments of 1% per year on your $2,000, and the bank pockets the difference of 4% as profit. So, and then it goes on, fractional reserve banking supposedly has its roots in an era where gold and silver were traded. Goldsmiths would issue promissory notes, which were later used as a means of exchange. The Smiths used the deposited gold to issue loans with interest, and fractional banking was born. In the U.S., the National Bank Act was passed in 1863 to require banks to keep reserves on hand to protect deposited funds from being used in risky investments, and blah, blah, and they still do it. All right, they take money out your check. It goes to retirement. You can't you can't stop retirement. You can't stop Social Security. All right, guess what? Your money goes into a pot where they invest it in certain things that they consider safe investments, and then they sprinkle it off on Jake who's retiring. Here's a little, $400 a month, $1,000 a month, even though you've been working for 40 years. Go fuck yourself. All right, but this is why, because we're considered strangers to them. We're considered goyim to them. This is why, Sirach 39 and 23. As he had turned the waters into saltness, so shall the heathen inherit his wrath. Right? Because not only are we found in our hands, we go to them in the one of all things. The scriptures say they should be the borrower, they shall be the lender, and ye shall be the borrower. Who's the borrower and who's the lender? When have you ever heard Jake talking about they loan money to a small hat? Come on, man. They have special places they can go where they can get loans from each other, instant loans. Like, when have you ever seen an Amalekite begging for change? So, if you have eyes to see, you can see it. And we're watching, the things going on in Israel. It's in Mexico. It's going when the destruction hits this place, Mexico is right next door. Boom, Mexico, Canada. More than likely they're gonna receive the same, because the scriptures talk about the radioactivity in the water. That was at 2 Ezra 5. So you're going to have a huge pollution problem. You're going to have a lot of confusion, when these things hit, which these places are going to get hit. And then many more places too. So, hey man, just continue to stay diligent, continue to stay prudent. We're watching things that are remember, we're watching things that our parents A lot of our parents who are in the spirit world, they watched for. All right, my parents, they talked about it. You know, they worked their whole lives and didn't know, the war that was going on against them. They didn't know anything about the scriptures. Grandparents, they didn't know anything about the scriptures. They didn't know anything about their ancestry. All right, great crap. Many people have desired to see the things that we see in the times that we're in. And we have to remember that and make the most and stand in our light. Shalom to the elect. Kwam Yashala.